This client has asked for this area of the lawn to be turned to wildflowers. The windows that look out onto it are quite often used and they wanted a bit of a display. Also, they want to promote British songbirds and obviously just wildlife in general to their garden. The seeds we're going to be putting down on here are a mix of UK sourced native wildflower seeds. They're slightly more expensive than some of the typical bundles you can buy, but you know for a fact that it is obviously UK sourced seed and it's native plants, so they're going to do well. When sowing a wildflower meadow, one thing to point out is the first year you sow it, it's going to look amazing. Everything's going to come up in bloom, everything's going to be fantastic. After 2 or 3 years, the wildflower meadow will settle down and settle in, and you'll actually have a more permanent meadow. The plants that are going to do well here will have established, and the plants which won't do well here won't be as strong. So every wildflower meadow is different, and that's one of the wonderful things about it. So this is what we're left with once the scarifying's been done. As you can see, I've started tidying up a little bit and just wanted to show you sort of what the soil should look like. You see here, we've still got some grass. We're going to need that for the yellow rattle to parasitise, but then there's just bare soil around here, so when we sow the seeds and then roll over the top, there's good seed to soil contact. But this is 3 coat goes over with a scarifier. It's hard work doing it, but the point is to take as much of the thatch, as much of the moss and as much of the nitrogen content out of the soil. This is what we tend to do when we're converting a lawn. If we were converting a normal pasture meadow, so there's another area of this site over by an orchard that we've put in, we're going to be converting that in a different style, and what we'll be doing is we'll be letting the grass grow long and then using scythes to cut the grass at ground level, so there's no stubble at all, raking and taking. And we'll do that for a few seasons to really knock the nitrogen content down, and then after we've done that, it's back to the same process that we're going to do here, which is picking the stuff up, obviously removing the nitrogen, and then giving it a good rake to fluff the soil up, sowing some seeds and rolling on top, and we'll show you what it looks like after that. As you know, here at Wild Spaces we like to do things without power. The exception to that in this case is we will be using our trusty lawnmower. We use an Ego Power Plus battery powered lawnmower. It's a great piece of kit and has been reliable as anything for us. The main reason we use that is after we've scarified, as you can see, there's a lot of fluffed up, mossy, thatchy, grassy detritus. And instead of raking and picking it up, it's a little bit more efficient to just use the lawnmower to pick it up. And we go over this 3 times, and that just assures everything's been taken out of the ground. So when you're scarifying, after it's all been collected, this is what you're left with. And it's just a mix of bits of the old thatch from the lawn, moss, a few pieces of grass in there. There's so many uses you can use for this. We like to chuck it in the compost, and sometimes we keep quite a bit of it separate, because when this rots down, it is a phenomenal seed and cutting compost. It does take a while, and you are going to need to add a little bit of brown to it, but it's a brilliant resource and it shouldn't be thrown away.
So it's the day after we finished scarifying, and we decided to scatter the seeds today because it got quite windy yesterday, and you lose a lot of the seeds. Obviously it just blows away in the wind, and it's due to rain tomorrow, so that will help with the germination of the seeds. So traditionally wildflower meadows have just 20% wildflower seeds in the seed mix and 80% meadow grass. Obviously here we've got a lot of lawn grass already established, which will help the yellow rattle to establish, but we do need to introduce some meadow grass just to give the right wildflower environment.
Now we're going to sow the seeds, and there's 2 of us here today, which is a fantastic help. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split this wildflower seed mix into 2 separate buckets. I'm going to take one, Amy's going to take the other. And we're both going to do 2 passes in different directions. So we'll go across the beds first and then along the bed. We're going to try and eyeball and use half of our buckets of seed each time we do it. And we're going to be starting from a different point. That way, when we go across the bed 4 times, we'll have an even spread of seeds, theoretically. It does take a bit of practice though. After we've done that, we're going to be getting Big Bertha out, and she's our antique, rusty old roller, but she's a fantastic piece of kit, really heavy, and that's going to squash the seed into the soil and establish a really good soil-seed contact. Finally, last step is to give it a water. I know it's going to rain tomorrow, but we want to start them off well, so we're going to give the whole area a nice sprinkle with water. And then over the next couple of weeks, just make sure that it doesn't dry out, and hopefully within a few weeks we'll start to see some germination. Now that everything's rolled in, I'm just finishing the job off by watering all the seeds. You're looking to just soak them in so they start to take up some of the water. That will help with the germination. It is going to rain tomorrow, but the important thing over the first few weeks is not to let them dry out. If they dry out, then the emerging leaves and roots will just die off, and that's the end of the seed, unfortunately. It's okay to walk on the seeds now. As you can see, I'm treading on them because they haven't germinated. But after this first water, no one will be walking on this patch. Well, ideally, not until we come to mow it for the first time. Now that the seeds are down and they're all going to be starting to grow lovely, aftercare on a project like this is really simple. Keep it watered. You don't want them drying out. Don't walk on it. So we've walked on it now to do the initial water, but from this point onwards, we're going to stay on the outside of the bed and water in. You can always set up sprinkler systems as well. Pests wise, you are going to have a problem with pigeons in some places. There's definitely pigeons and birds around here which are going to go for the seed. Fortunately, the owners of this garden have got a little dog who does a very good job of scaring off pigeons. On the flip side of that, if you are doing this in a house with a pet, you are going to have to be careful that they don't go on and dig in your nicely prepared area or leave any little offerings. Past that, it's just leave it. Enjoy it for the summer, and come autumn/winter, after the seed heads have gone brown, we're going to scythe this, lay the hay out for a couple of days, let all the dried seed drop back into the ground, and then the most important thing is after we've scythed it, let the seed drop out, is we're going to collect the hay. We don't want to leave any of it behind. And I think we're probably going to bale that up and use the hay to feed the guineas and the rabbits at home. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this and learnt the odd thing or two, and now's a good time of year to go out and create your own wildflower meadow. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and share us with any of your friends as well. And I hope you have a good time, and we'll see you next time.